Hello, everyone. Welcome. Just ignore that little piece right there. We'll get to that in just a minute. These are the alternate cards that we are going to be making tonight in our Facebook Live. And then I will post the full replay on YouTube. So welcome. Hello, everybody. My name is Melinda Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. And you can find more information about the projects that I create on my blog. I'm sorry, I'm looking to the side. I'm just going to pull up the blog spot. Okay, so you can find more information about the projects that I make on my blog at www.stampingwithhart.blogspot.com. I am having a weird bang day, so I have this like headband on, and that's kind of throwing me off. So anyway, I'm just gonna move on. But anyway, as you guys are coming on, be sure to say hello, whether you're watching live or in the replay. I love the chance to get to say hi and talk to everybody. We're going to be going over a few things here. So I did have enough time to actually type some stuff in ahead of the live. I'm so excited. And for the first time ever, the project sheet, I have a free project sheet for today's cards. It is ready ahead of the live. So let me go ahead and pop that information up here. Okay, so I'm going to put the project sheet in the comments. So let me do that now. There is a link to the free project sheet. If you're watching on Facebook, you will see the link in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see the project sheet link in the description box below. So just depending, I will have it in both places. So a project sheet is a downloadable PDF of the card pictures, measurements, coordinating colors. It has all of the alternate products that I use that are available to purchase on the actual project sheet. I usually include some information of things that I have coming up as well. So you can either download the project sheet for free, or I will post all of the information to my blog tomorrow. So again, that link will be available if you're watching on Facebook, which I'm live on Facebook right now. And this is Thursday, April 20th, 2023, by the way. So hi, Roxanne. How are you? Oh, you're welcome for the project sheet. I'm so glad that you guys like them. That's so nice. So if you're already on my email list, you get the project sheet emailed to you, and you could just click a little button and download it. You don't have to sign up for anything again. If you are here for the first time, or if you're downloading the project sheet for the first time, when you sign up for my email list, you get the project sheet, and then it's up to you whether or not you want to stay on my email list. That's always the first place that I announce new events, new projects, Facebook Live sneak peeks, all of that. I post replays, so that's kind of like my main hub. So I recommend being on my email list, but it's entirely up to you. So welcome. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then let's see what else I wanted to say. So, oh yeah, I'm going to go over just a couple of things, and then we'll jump into making our alternate cards. We have 4 cards tonight, note size cards, and hopefully we won't have any distractions or interruptions. So the May paper pumpkin kit. Now I'm going to be working with April's kit tonight, but let me show you what the May kit looks like. So let me see if I can share. Should be able to. Okay, so this is the teaser for the May 2023 paper pumpkin kit. And for those of you who are excited about our catalog launch on May 2nd, and who are excited for the new in colors, the reason that this box is in black and white is because they're going to have a big reveal of the new in colors that are going to be featured in the artwork on the box, and I guess throughout the kit. One of the colors from the in colors is going to be the ink spot as well. So that's always really exciting. On May 2nd, when the catalog launches, there's actually going to be an add-on available for this kit, cards and envelopes Demonstrators have not seen it yet. We typically get the same teasers that you do. So if you want to subscribe to the kit, meaning the all-inclusive paper pumpkin kit, you want to be subscribed by May 10th, 2023. I always say subscribe now, don't wait, so you don't forget. But that's for the kit. If you're interested in getting the add-on, you need to be an active Paper Pumpkin subscriber, and you want to make sure to pay attention for that launch on May 2nd. And when they release the details for the add-on, I will post that information for all of you. But March 2nd is going to be, May 2nd is going to be a big day. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait to see what they look like. So anyway, that's for the May kit. So I just wanted to show you that I love outdoor themes. I love nature themes. I'm absolutely going to love this kit. I actually really love the new in colors. When I first saw them, I really wasn't sure. And then once I started working with them, and I think that's the case for so many of us, I think they're going to be absolutely essential. So they're good colors. I can't wait to see the reveal of the colors on the box. Okay, so that's for May. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Roberta. I'm so happy to have you guys here. So let me go ahead and stop that share. Okay, and so there was just a few other things that I wanted to mention. I want to talk about prepaid codes for a minute. This is something that I've noticed, and I just wanted to bring it up. If you purchase Paper Pumpkin prepaid subscription codes, you can purchase a 1-month prepaid, 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month. You want to make sure that that code has been plugged into your Paper Pumpkin account and that it is activated prior to May 10th, 2023. There have been just a few times that I've noticed, that somebody thought their code was activated, and on my side, I'm not seeing that it's activated. So just double check. If you recently purchased a prepaid code, just make sure it's activated if you want that May kit so that you don't miss out on that. Then here is another thing. I'm not going to talk too much about this tonight. I just want to start mentioning it because we are 2 weeks away from our new annual catalog launch and 1 week away from being able to open registration for the upcoming events. So I am going to have an in-color club this year. I'm also going to have a paper share. I do have flyers available. So if you are interested in that, any advance notice, or if you would like to see the flyer, will be very helpful because we have a very narrow window to register people for the event for this catalog. It's just a policy thing that we can't launch or have people pay for these events that we're going to host with our catalogs any earlier than 7 days prior to a catalog launch. So it's going to be a tight deadline. And if you're interested, please give me a heads up and let me know, because with my paper share, they're quarter packs, which mean I sell them in groups of 4. So if you're interested, I would love to hear from you. It's very helpful for me. And then I can put your name on a list and be sure to get you the event link on April 26th when I actually launch those events. So make sure you're on my email list if you're interested in that. But okay, so there's that. And then my question for all of you, whether you're watching live or in the replay, is if you got your April Paper Pumpkin kit, have you used your organizer? So let me show you this. This is the organizer from the April kit. I put it together. The last time I was live on Tuesday, we put the kit cards together, and I'll show you those in a minute. And you can put your organizer together in different, sizes and ways, just depending. And the thing that was really cool is that you can see there's a little bit of space around the organizer, and that is so that you can close your box, which I think is so nice. So you guys can see, I have it like over to the side a little bit, but when I first put this in, it closed so easily. And of course, now that I'm live, it won't. There we go. So I just wanted to show that. Okay. So yeah, let me know if you used your April Paper Pumpkin Kit organizer yet. Have you gotten your kit yet? I always like to ask a question whenever we're getting into a card project. Okay. So the last thing is, and then we're going to go down to the table, is if you like seeing these paper pumpkin videos, if you like seeing alternate card ideas, unboxings, any, card tutorials, anything like that, be sure to subscribe if you happen to be on my YouTube channel, or be sure to follow if you are on my Facebook page, Stamping with Hart, in both places, HART for Hart. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to change my screen now, and let's go ahead and make our alternate cards. So for my alternates tonight, and I'm going to show you the original cards too that we made, and let me put this banner down so that I don't forget, because I really will. Okay, so these are the alternates, and the thing that is different about these is that they're note card size. So even though I love large scale kits, I actually scaled it down a little bit. And that is because I have a huge, well, we all have a huge May coming up, and I'm going to need thank you cards. So I decided to do a thank you card theme. But of course, you can use your sentiments from the paper pumpkin kit too. So we're going to go through these, but I'll just hold these up really quick so that you can get a look at these. All 4 of these cards are on that free project sheet. I have all of the pieces and the measurements listed, whether or not it's an add-on, or I shouldn't say add-on. I should say, from my own collection or from the kit. So we're going to do some background stamping. We're going to do a really simple, 2 of these cards are pretty simple, and then one is just a little bit more stamping. Couple of inks there. So these are the alternate cards that we're going to make tonight. And then here were the originals. So just so that you can get a feel for what the originals look like, just in case you haven't seen them yet, we're going to be taking this piece and turning it into this, so you can see the difference in the card size, just, smaller, but not too bad. And then here is this card. So what we're going to do with this fabulous piece. Now, again, for those of you who tune in for alternate videos, or if you're brand new to Paper Pumpkin and you're like, why are they changing the cards? You don't have to change the cards unless you want to. I like to give people ideas, other ways that you can use this. But if you like this all as one piece, which it is absolutely stunning, then keep it. Do the Paper Pumpkin design. We're going to break this up into a couple of pieces, and we're going to turn it into a couple of different alternate cards. And then here was the third card. I only had one of these left, so I'm saving it for the live. So if we get enough time, we'll put a 5th card together. But this is the original card designed from the kit with just a very few changes. And I absolutely love the way this one was too. So those were the original cards. And when you get your Paper Pumpkin kit here, this is the instruction sheet that you get. And of course, you can, do it just from looking at the pictures on the cover and assemble your cards that way. If you need actual instructions, they're right on the inside. But when we get into alternates, I start bringing in other product. Okay. So one thing that we did talk about was in the last video, even though we were just putting together the Paper Pumpkin cards, one of the first things that I do for alternates is I immediately look at the coordinating colors, and then I use those on my alternates. So these are the coordinating colors we're going to be using today. Balmy Blue, Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, Poppy Parade, Granny Apple Green, and Shaded Spruce. Shaded Spruce is the kit color, meaning that's the color the ink spot was in this month's kit. And then in terms of using the kit, I do try to use as much of the kit as possible with my alternates most of the time. But sometimes I will bring in a coordinating bundle or a different product that I want to use. And I am actually using, and I was just using this and I decided to use it again because I just really think this is going to be a go-to for me. The brand new Circle Sayings bundle. So for those of you who are waiting for that new catalog that's launching on May 2nd, this bundle will be available on May 2nd, 2023. You can actually get it now as a demonstrator as part of our pre-order, and you can also put this bundle in your starter kit right now. So if you have any questions on that, you can just let me know. This is a 2 3/8 inch circle punch that we're going to be using as part of our alternates. And then we're going to be using some of the stamps here, again, because I need a lot of thank you cards. for some upcoming things. So we're going to be incorporating that. But that I think is pretty much it. And then we're going to be using the stamp set from the Paper Pumpkin kit. And let me just show you what the stamp set looks like real quick. I have everything mounted already, but for those of you who maybe haven't seen the kit yet, these are the stamps in this one in the center here. This is my favorite. I just absolutely love this stamp. I used it all over the place. But really, really great for just creating patterns and backgrounds and things like that. So you can either go with your kit sentiments if you want to. You have 4 and they're all good. I just wanted something that said thank you, which is why I'm incorporating that. Okay, I'm seeing some comments, so let me just read those really quick and then we'll start breaking these down here. Roberta says she hasn't opened her kit yet. Roxanne says she loves this Paper Pumpkin. Me too, Roxanne. She says she was waiting for me to do my alternatives. Awesome. Here they are. Okay. And then Jackie says she just got her kit today. Oh, that's great, Jackie. I'm so glad. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead. And I did pre-cut some of these pieces ahead of time. And then we're going to be cutting some pieces together here. I'm just trying to pull my kit pieces out, because we are going to need these. And I did pre-stamp one of these. So let me just get that ready. We are going to use some envelope pieces today. I tried to pre-cut them, but we can cut one together so I can show you how I cut up the envelopes. All right. So let's go ahead and just get started with one of our cards. How about that? And I'm going to set this aside. A couple of the other alternate products that I did use that I did want to mention. I am using the, kit twine. But for one of the cards, I'm going to be using the Parakeet Party Metallic Woven Ribbon, rather. Try saying that 3 times fast. Metallic Woven Ribbon. This is a really thin 1/8 inch ribbon, but it has a lot of shine and shimmer to it. And because it's so close to Granny Apple Green, I was like, I'm using this. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring in was the brushed brass butterflies. And the reason is because I feel like these really add that touch of spring. Now, this kit does come with embellishments. It comes with the rhinestones. So if you don't have this, don't feel like you need to have it. But if you want it, I do have those items listed on my project sheet. So here are the, and of course, if you have iridescent rhinestones at home, you could use those with this kit. The opal rounds would look great with this kit. But I just think that the butterflies add that little extra touch of spring. So we're going to add those as well. Okay, so should we start with an easy one? Let's start with this one. This is like one of my favorites. I love the way this card turned out. So we'll start here. All right, so this one is a combination of Balmy Blue, Granny Apple Green, and then Basic Black and Basic White. And our pop is really with this piece here. Kathy says that she has her kit spread all over her dining room table and she will finish it tomorrow. That's cool, Kathy. Do you put the whole kit together as is, or do you, kind of go off script and make some alternates? Let me know. So I love working on my dining room table. It's like one of my favorite places in the house to craft. It's my favorite room in the house, as a matter of fact, because there's so much light in there, but it's very hard because it's a common area. So yeah. All right. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be using note card size. So let me just throw this out there. I made my own card bases for these alternates in coordinating colors. So this is Balmy Blue. The measurements on this are 5 by 7, and then it is scored at 3.5. For those of us who love having things pre-done for us, consider the note cards and envelopes pack. It's pre-cut and scored. They already have the envelopes that are the size that coordinate. I think they're so handy, but I am going to actually use coordinating colors today. So it's just something that I wanted to shout out. So what you're going to do with this piece here, and I'll show you what the original piece looks like. This is what the original piece looks like, and you're going to pop out these little extra pieces so that it looks like this. And then this is actually 4 inches. So you're just going to cut it in half. And then on the edges, you're just going to have to do a very slight trim, not a lot. You'll see here, like it's about like 1/8 of an inch or so on either side, just to get that little extra bit off. So it's entirely up to you, however you guys want to do that. but it's just a very slight modification. So we'll modify that and trim that down in just a second, but let's start here. And let me get my little mat, my little Stampin' mat here. I was getting messy with this. I should have gotten a new piece. It's okay. I'm just trying to get this little extra bit of adhesive off of here that I got on here the other night. Okay. So with our Granny Apple Green, I'm just going to do tone on tone. So I'm going to be using my Granny Apple Green ink for this. If you're going to be using multiple inks like I do with the alternates, I do recommend a cleaner. I'm just using my Simply Chamois so that we can kind of clean this in between because I am going to use this on a couple of different things. Okay. I think I cleaned these all before the live, but just in case. All right. So what we want to do is just stamp a pattern. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can, stamp it in whatever way you're comfortable. But I am just going to stamp this right across the panel. So I'm just going to start and line it right up with the edge. And then if you move this around, you can see it kind of fits in together, like similarly. Let me stand up because I'll start going squirrely here. I sit when I'm first doing my intro. I can't get used to my new setup, but I'm working on it. So you can see, like, it's close. It's a close match. It doesn't have to be exact. And then we can kind of come in from the side there and then down here. And then we can kind of fit this in. And it's okay if there's overlap or, what have you. It doesn't have to be. We basically just want to create like that nice simple pattern there. And so I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. Oh, but you know what? Let's stamp this too. So here is our circle. And this is where I'm going to bring in circle sayings. And I do think that circle sayings coordinates really well with the paper pumpkin kit. Like this card, for example, enjoy the day as a paper pumpkin stamp, but the celebrate and the circle, that is from Circle Sayings. So it's a really nice fitting combination, like perfect fit actually. So we're going to be using sending you a, right? Yes. And then I did pull my Memento Tuxedo black ink. You could use whatever black ink you like. I almost grabbed the StazOn, but I need to get a StazOn cleaner. So I, at the last moment, decided not to do that. Just use whatever your favorite colors are. It would look absolutely fabulous in Granny Apple Green too. Okay, so I'm just going to ink this up. I do need to re-ink my Memento too, but it should be okay. All right. And then I'm just going to line that up right here with our circle. And then we'll also stamp our thank you. Sending you a thank you. And I am going to do that. Let me just make sure, yeah, we're okay. I'm going to stamp that in Granny Apple Green. Okay. And we'll set that one aside. So that's it for our stamping for this card. So now we're going to work on trimming this down and putting this together. And then that'll be it for card one. So nice and easy for card one. I think there's only one card that has a lot of stamping to it actually tonight. So one of the great things about Paper Pumpkin alternates is that they don't take too long. Okay. Hi, Joan. How are you? She says hello from Washington State. How's your weather in Washington State today, Joan? We're having an 84-degree day in Pennsylvania. Bright, sunny, not humid. It has been absolutely fabulous. Okay, so I'm just going to trim a little bit off of each end here. And you can see there's like a notch. Hopefully you can see. There's a notch on either end at that like 1/8 inch. So I'm just going to try to focus there first. And then you can just double check, your lineup as you go so that you're not doing too much. But if I take a look as I flip this over, you can see that looks like that's just about 1/8 of an inch. So let's go ahead and trim this other one off. Just going to do it slightly less, actually, just a little bit. Yeah. Let's take a look at this. I'm probably going to have to trim a little bit more, but I don't want to cut too much. And that looks great. Okay, so we're just going to leave it right there. All right. And then for these pieces, we can actually glue these right to the card, which is so nice. That's one of the reasons why I picked Balmy Blue for this base, because I love the way it looked behind the leaves. Okay, so fun fact, you guys will see as I'm gluing this, I don't have my refill yet, and I didn't buy 2 kits. So I actually had to disassemble one of my cards, which was killing me because I was so afraid I wasn't going to have enough pieces for alternates for this live. Turns out I would have, but I could always do a second round. But don't worry, because I am still going to use up every single one of those pieces, just in a different way. So yeah, I panicked a little bit. I actually haven't gone online to check to see if refills are available yet, but I'll let you guys know after the live. I can go look that up. Today's the 20th, so I think it would have posted either today or tomorrow. Okay, so because we're using the multi-purpose glue, it just takes a minute for it to adhere to the card. And you can see, even though I had to take dimensionals off of the edge, wasn't bad. And I have a little bit of overlap here, so I'm just going to trim that off with my paper snips. And I'm going to do that now before I start putting on my layers. I thought I had it lined up, but you never know. Okay. So I'm just gonna, the thing about cutting from the back or upside down like this is try to keep your hand perfectly straight against that edge and not cut inward, because that's where you run into trouble. At least that's where I run into trouble. Okay, and then we're going to put this piece on next. Okay, so this piece is 2 inches. This piece is a 1.5, and then of course they're both by 5 inches. So we'll put this one down next. And I always like to cover the seam. For me, I feel like it looks more clean and crisp, which is why I have that little 1/2 inch piece of the basic black, but it's entirely up to you. I think that this would look beautiful with the envelope pattern too, just depending on what you're looking for, or even with the shaded spruce card base. That would look really pretty if you cut that up and turned that into a layer too. Okay, and we're going to do our basic black piece. Look at the way that that stands out against that. It's crazy. So this is a 1/2 inch by 5. Trying to line it up as straight as I can, but of course I have glue on my fingers already. Doesn't take long. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. A little bit crooked, but it's okay. All right, and then we're going to pop our circle up on dimensionals. So let me grab those. There were dimensionals that came with the kit. This is one of my full size sheets. I just usually grab whatever is closest to me. My allergies are really kicking it, I have to tell you. I don't know how you guys are doing. My allergies usually aren't too bad in the spring, but this year they really seem to be kicking up. So I'm just going to do mine in the center, totally up to you. I want to show as much of that leaf as I can with the fancy iridescence. Okay. Holographic looking images. I think that's what you call that, holographic iridescent. Okay, and now I just put a couple of butterflies among my leaves. So I'm just going to do the same thing. These are nice and flat. So for those of you who like flat embellishments, these are for you. Okay, we're going to just pop these around. Put this one over here. All right, and so there is card number 1. And I don't want to say of 4 because we might do a 5th one depending on if we have enough time. We'll see. Let me set this aside and we can grab those again at the end. All right, so let's do, and let me get the originals out of here too so I'm not confusing myself. Okay. card number 2. We could do this one. This one's pretty simple. And this one does feature an envelope. So we can cut one of these envelopes up together. And I'll just show you how I do it. Now, for those of you who've, done alternates with me before, this is a regular thing. We do this regularly, but we'll do this again together. I did pre-cut some pieces, but that's okay. So what I like to do with my envelopes, you can see this is the envelope from the kit. You're going to get 9 of these. If you like your envelopes to coordinate and you want to keep the size card from the kit, which is like an A2 size, that 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, then that's the size that will fit in this envelope. I'm making smaller cards, which means I'm going to need a different size envelope. So I am free to cut these up however I want. So I'm just going to literally trim the edges. I just want the edges to come off so that I can start to get this pattern as basically a replacement for designer series paper. They do not place designer series paper in the kits, but a lot of times demonstrators, when they're doing alternate projects, will kind of use the envelopes as our DSP or in place of it, or we'll even use the card bases, just depending on what they give us in that kit. That's one of the most fun things about getting the surprises. Okay, so with the envelope, you can see we have 2 different patterns. We have this pattern, which is very close to the, well, it is the same pattern as the stamp that's in there. So you always get those kind of repeat things there. And then we have this piece here. You have this one too, if you can cut it up strategically, but I'm going to focus on this middle piece. So we're going to trim this off first. I like to trim just slightly above the score line, only because when I cut like directly on the score line, for some reason it frays. And I think it's just because envelope paper is a little bit thinner. And so right now, in terms of the width, the measurement is, it's close. It's just over 5 1/2 because it needs to be slightly bigger than the card that they provide in the kit. We're going to cut it down to 5. So I'm going to cut this down to 5 inches first. Just get that on the 5-inch line. I would say save these pieces. One thing that I did want to point out to everyone, if you are using this circle punch or any other size circle punch in your collection, this will fit perfectly here. So if you want to use that, I have a piece that I had started down here. I'll have to see if I can find it later, but that's a great way to use this or utilize this. And if you wanted to kind of do a pattern here, it won't quite fit the whole thing. I mean, you might be able to get it edge to edge, but what you could do is like little half patterns or sides. And that could be good in terms of if you're doing shapes or you want to do punches. All right. And then for this one here, let me just get a measurement on this because I can't remember what I cut that to. 2 1/8. So I'm going to cut this down to 2 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and we'll save this piece for later. We're going to use this piece now. We'll save this piece for later. Just keep it with your paper pumpkin box if you haven't used it for your organizer yet. Okay, and then let me grab my card base for this. And for this one, we are going to be using Petal Pink. Okay, so this is a Petal Pink card base. All of these card bases are the same size, that note card size. Just going to burnish that edge here. All right, and then I also have a piece of shaded spruce. This is 3 inches by 5 inches. We're going to just line this up right in the center here. What did I do with my, did I measure? Oh, haha, you guys, I measured this wrong. So the original piece here is actually 2 1/2 inches. Let's see how big this one is. 2 1/4. That's closer. Let's use that one instead. Okay. So we'll use this one instead. Sorry about that. I measured the wrong card piece. Stick with me. All right. So we're going to need this die cut piece here. This flower. We're also going to need this from the kit. This is our banner piece. So let me grab these. Now, on the original paper pumpkin card, you were supposed to layer this piece over this flower to give some more dimension. But this is one of those things that I like to hold back on so that we can use it for alternates. And we just kind of get more out of our kit. So we're going to take this one, and then we're also going to use our banner. So let me get this one. I wanted to try to leave these pieces in here so that you guys could see that they were from the kit. And then I am going to use my own stamp again. So I'm going to use the Circle Sayings thank you stamp because I need thank you cards, but this would fit perfectly with the ones that come in the kit as well if you want to change your sentiment. Okay. Now this one we're going to stamp in Calypso Coral. So let me just get this. So this is very simple. This is literally just this one. I think it would look really pretty in Poppy Parade too, actually. But we'll stick with this. I think I need to re-ink this. All right, and then this size fits perfectly with this banner. I think that this is so interchangeable. And I think that you find with a lot of our paper pumpkin kits with those pre-cut, sentiment die cut pieces and the banners and the rectangles, they match a lot of our regular stamp set, size stamps as well. All right, so now that we have that, we can put this one together. I'm going to grab my Calypso Coral twine. I'm getting low on my twine, but I should have enough for this. So I wrapped it 3 times. You wrap as many times as you want. We'll see what we got here. I can always switch to the black. There are 2 sets of twine that come in this month's kit, which is so nice. This is just a little bit of seal. I like to hide my twine in the back, my adhesive. Trying to get it towards the edge here. All right, and let me see if I can move this light a little bit closer. Okay, and then I'm just going to literally just wrap it around. One of my biggest things when I'm working with these kits is I need to leave myself enough, not only to make alternates to show you before we start, but to have enough to make the alternates like live with you too. So that's where refills come in really handy, and extra kits. But I always feel guilty when I buy extra kits and then I have an extra stamp set. So you can see by the way that I wrapped this, it was a little too tight. And part of that is because this is envelope paper, so it doesn't hold like cardstock does. So I'm glad I caught that. And I'm just going to go a little bit lighter. Okay. I think that should be okay. And then I'm just going to trim this off. You could do 3 separate pieces if you don't want to wrap it all the way around, if you want to try to conserve the twine that you have. Okay. It's still tight. Let's see if I can flatten that. How about now? Yeah, that seems better, but we might have to loosen it up again. Okay, so I'm going to glue this piece down. Isn't it funny how the cards that are the simplest are the ones that I always get tripped up on? Give me a card that takes 40 minutes and I'm fine. All right, there we go. We're going to put this piece down first. I did a lot of like edge to edge layers today. Love this kit. Let me see. I really don't think it's going to let me put that down. I think it's too tight. Let's see. I might go with just 2 here. If I can loosen this enough. Just give me 1 second, you guys. There we go. Trying to give it a little bit of slack here. All right, and then we're just going to adjust where these are hitting. And then let's put this down. Okay. Just want to make sure I have enough glue that stays down. Okay. Here we go. Let me give it a try. Across the whole panel. Let's see if I can scoop this one up. Yep. Okay, good. Salvaged. Okay. I never typically have that problem. It's so funny. All right, so there we have that. And now I'm just going to pop both of these pieces up on dimensionals, and we'll finish with the embellishments for the kit, from the kit for this card. So I'm just going to, I use pretty much my whole sheet. I use every bit of dimensional that I can. So I'm just going to do some end pieces here, whatever we have, and then we'll move on to the next one. And I put this one over to the right. Totally up to you, however you guys want to position that. Okay. There we go. And then let's go, and this is going to work out nicely because this will go right up along the edge there. All right, and I like to bump my banners up right to the edge of the card, but if you want to do it to the edge of the layer, you could do that too. I just like that look. I couldn't tell you why, I just do. Okay, and then let me grab my embellishments. Whoops, I pulled my computer. Hopefully you guys didn't see that. All right, so let's go ahead and put, these are gorgeous. I love these, big and small. All right, so here is our second card. And you can see my lines are wider on this one than this one, but just however you want to, have your design look, that's our second card. All right, so let's go ahead and do our third card, which is the one that I was measuring from the last one. So that was the other piece. Goodness gracious. All right, thank goodness I have a project sheet, right? Okay, let's just see if there's any other. Hi, Tracy. How are you? This kit is so pretty. Oh, my gosh. Oh, and Kathy says she ordered the Circle Sayings bundle or stamp set yesterday. That's so cool. Oh, Roberta says refills don't post until the 23rd. Roxanne is saying rain in Oregon. Thank you for looking that up, Roberta. That was awesome. Thank you. Oh, no, she says the 25th. The 25th. Okay, thank you for that. All right, and Kathy says, love it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do for this one. You have these little individual guys that you can use, which I still haven't used those yet. I'll probably use them on another project. On the original design cards, they layer these over this piece here, just to kind of give that double, effect. But we're going to split it up again. But even more than just splitting it up, with those little pieces, we're actually going to cut this into 3 pieces. Now, if you don't want to cut that, that's totally fine. I'm going to kind of spread this out just to give you guys some ideas for different cards, but I really loved it and I wanted to try to split it. So you'll see here that this is the bottom. So to this large flower here is where we cut. And then this piece is the middle. Okay, so here. And then this little piece, this little thing that kind of goes off to the side here, that's here. I can't remember what I did with the top. If I put that somewhere else, I think that's still part of this. Yeah, it is. So this piece is here, and then this little offshoot is right here. So we're going to cut this together. And what I'm going to do, even though there's like a white border here, I'm going to cut it close along these flowers here. So I'm just going to trim this. We'll do this first. Don't feel like you have to be perfect. And don't feel like you have to cut it unless you want to. This is one of those things that becomes fun about the kits, and it's kind of like a puzzle and you just do different pieces. So there's that piece that we're going to save for that last card. We're going to need one of these circles. So let me just grab that while I'm looking at this. Okay. And then we're going to cut this little piece right here off. So let me just give that a little trim. And then I'm going to just trim a little bit of this white here, just to make it look like it was an individual piece. And the concept here is that it looks continuous behind the circle, but we're kind of conserving this fabulous die cut, because sometimes when I see certain kits, I wish we could just buy sheets and sheets of like particular die cuts, you know? Okay. And then this we don't have to focus too much on because it's going to get tucked, but I'm just going to trim that piece. All right, so these will get popped up on dimensionals, but let's go ahead and put these pieces here. We're going to need one of our white circles. And one of the things that I wanted to say is that if you're not using your card bases from the kit, you can just, you know, cut your circles right from the card bases, just depending, or the back of the card bases if you want. If you have plenty of basic white, just use your scraps to cut these circles. So we have this. We're going to need our parakeet party for this one. We're going to need 2 pieces of parakeet party. So let's get those. And I actually included both embellishments on here, the butterflies and the rhinestones from the kit. Okay, so we have 2 of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp Celebrate in Balmy Blue and then Enjoy Your Day in Shaded Spruce. So let's go ahead and do that first. Okay. Here is the Circle Celebrate stamp. I didn't realize that refills didn't post until the 25th. I just had it stuck in my head that it was the 20th for some reason. Maybe that's because that's typically when the kit arrives at my house. Okay, so let's do Balmy Blue. Got my kit early this month. That was wonderful. All right, now we're just going to ink this up and stamp it nice and easy. Try to stay center. And then I'm going to grab Shaded Spruce here. And we're going to do Enjoy Your Day, which is from the Paper Pumpkin kit. And we'll do that on this Petal Pink die cut circle from the kit. Okay, just want to make sure that's stamping clean. If you don't want Petal Pink, you could always flip it over and just use the reverse side, which is white. All right, so we have those pieces, and then I've cut up a bunch of envelope pieces, but I don't know if I have the right size. So let me just double check myself real quick. Yeah, this is the correct size. And I think this is the one that was 2 1/8. Yeah. So this is the 2 1/8 inch by 5 inch piece. So for this one, we're going to use our basic white note card size base. This is what the ones would look like if you got the note cards and envelopes set from Stampin' Up. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here is we're going to stamp that pattern again. I love this pattern. We are going to switch it up to a different pattern on the next card, but for this one, we're going to do Balmy Blue at the top and the bottom all the way across, and you could do your completely random pattern again. So don't feel like it needs to be in a certain position or order. All right. I'm going to grab my Balmy Blue. I've never officially tried to use like every single piece to see how many cards I could get. I should challenge myself to do that. All right, so here is our Balmy Blue. We're just going to go all the way across. Okay. We're going to do the same thing at the top. Isn't it funny how it just kind of fits? They really have a way when they're designing that these background stamps are so, you know, usable, like they're versatile and you can reposition them from, and they're like weird shapes, but wow, they just look so cool when you do them that way. I just love that they actually included like background stamping as part of this kit. I know they do that sometimes, but with this one, I felt like it really stood out. Maybe it's because I love the pattern, but I felt like there was a little more stamping with this kit this month. Okay. Now here's what I was supposed to do that I didn't. I was supposed to put my parakeet party down. And this is a really thin piece of ribbon to do with glue, so I could just skip it, but typically, and I probably have time, but do I really want to do that? So it's up to you guys, like however you would. I don't really glue piece. I would have glued this from the top and the bottom, but hopefully you guys can just forgive me, and then we'll just do something else. Or I could just trim this piece like this, and maybe we could do it like in the center where the circle is. I don't know if I'm going to like that though. Let's see. I just like my clean lines, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So let's go ahead and put our pieces down. Forgive me for that little mistake, but the original design is on the project sheet. So here's how our layout looks before the embellishments, or I should say before the Stampin' Dimensionals. We're going to just tuck this right under here, but you want to tuck it so that it doesn't come out, you know, the edge of the card there. And then we'll do this one on this side. Okay, so we're going to pop all of that up and all of that lovely stuff. But look at the difference when it doesn't have the ribbon behind it. What do you guys think of that? I think that that just makes such a difference. So if I take this little piece of ribbon and I put this down here, it's still too long. But if I set it here, then we did the same thing. Which this is exactly how I design when the camera's not on. Let's see how that looks. What do you guys think? It's a little pop of something, right? So we'll try it. It's probably gonna, you know, go a little, it's gonna move around because I'm not gonna glue it all the way, but let's see. Let's see how we do. I could always trim the edges if I really don't like it. But what I'm gonna do is get this piece down first. And that's gonna be hidden by our circle, so I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah, I'm probably going to end up trimming that a little bit, but let's see how we do. So let's get our dimensionals now. I'm going to grab a new sheet. Well, I still have this old one. Should we finish it up? Let's finish it. Okay. Get this one. And I think we're good. So for anybody who is just joining, I have a link to a free project sheet in the comments if you're on Facebook, and it will be in the description box underneath the video on YouTube. I'm going to pop this one on dimensionals too. You don't have to, but I'm not concerned about dimension with these cards. They're probably going to be going with catalogs or with orders. Okay, so that's something you can keep in mind when you're designing your kits too. This is actually a really good piece to use for a die cut like this. All right, that will give out good support. So I'm just going to tuck this in. Let's see. I'm going to kind of tuck this in here. Yes, good. This one's a little more to the side. That's okay. It's always good to have a little variation. And then let's pop this one on the other side. We can do just to try to secure that ribbon a little bit. Have something against it there. And then let's go ahead and get our iridescent rhinestones. Pop these on. I'm definitely going to go through. I knew I was going to go through it fast. That's why I saved it for these. Okay. All right. So there is our third card with a slight modification there, totally by mistake. All right. There's card number 3. And then here is our next card. So for this card here, we're actually going to be creating a background. So we'll be using 3 different ink colors for this one. We're going to be using Poppy Parade, Petal Pink, and a little bit of Granny Apple Green. But of course, if you only have 1 or 2 colors, then just go ahead and use whatever colors you have. All right. And then I'm going to get my pre-cut pieces here. So let's take a look. We are going to use this. We're going to actually use our blending brush with this one. So this is a Calypso Coral card base. I have a Granny Apple layer, and I also have a basic white layer. And let me just burnish this edge here. Okay, and so this is pretty simple in that we're just going to glue that layer on, so that will happen. This layer, I believe, is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then this basic white layer is just, I think, 1/4 inch under that, or 1/8 of an inch. It is, let's see, either way would be fine. This is 3 1/8 by 4 5/8. Okay, so we're going to get this. So in the paper pumpkin kit, you get these 2 stamps here. So we're going to use this little branch stamp, and then we're also going to use this little independent flower stamp that comes in the paper pumpkin kit. I'm going to get my petal pink first, and then we'll stamp this. We're just going to stamp this all over this basic white layer. All right. And you can stamp off the edges here. The idea is to try to get it to look like designer series paper again, you know, because we're creating this background. Overlap is okay. Going in whatever direction you want, I think, is totally fine. Just go sideways here. And you're just going to kind of stamp your flowers through. If you want less of this and more of the, you know, independent flower, then just make your adjustments. But it goes pretty quick. And then I'm just going to kind of get right up in that corner there. And I think that looks really good. I'm just going to go right over here and get a little bit more right there. Okay, so that's that stamp. And then I'm going to get my Poppy Parade. And my full-size Poppy Parade is a little worse for the wear. So I grabbed my little ink spot. So we're just going to do our Poppy Parade ink spot. Get our color on there. And we're just going to stamp around and about. So you stamp wherever you're comfortable with those flowers. I think I'm moving my camera. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Let me see if I can do that off of the table. Really, really pretty. Okay. I think that's looking really good. And again, just kind of getting some edges there. Not too concerned if it's overlapping with branches. And that wasn't full color, but we'll live. That's okay. All right, so we'll put that there. So that's the first part of this. And then we're going to wrap the twine. I think I have enough. I think I have enough to last us these cards. So let's do this layer first, and then I'm just going to repeat in my brain not to forget the twine. Let me see if I have any other comments. No, I think we're good. Okay, so I'm going to put this piece down first. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. If it is in the replay, I'll reply to the comments when I can. Okay, and then for this one, I'm going to do my usual thing. A lot of people like doing that little circle in the front, which is the way the Paper Pumpkin team did it for their original cards. I think I just tend to like the straight lines better. Okay, so we're going to wrap this one twice. This is cardstock, so this is going to be a little bit more durable with this technique. Let's see if I can get it. Can I get a third one? No, we're going to run out. Okay, it's all right. And let's see if I can, and you can see that's fine. Okay, let's see if I can get that down a little bit. And you can adjust these from behind too. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, and so we'll just throw that away. And let's go ahead and get, oh, Seal sure is sticky. I'm so used to using Seal Plus. It is a completely different consistency. Okay, and we're just going to border that in. All right, and then for this one, this is totally optional, you guys. If you just want to do the white, that's totally fine. I got my small blending brush, and the reason that I was inspired for this was because of the Petal Pink card that comes in the set. Of course, we have this piece here, and then if I can find that card base, let me see. I just dropped a piece that I need on the floor, so I'm saying it out loud so I don't forget to grab it. Is this it? No, that's the white. This is the shaded spruce. Oh, goodness. Here it is. This card base here. I absolutely love this card base. So I just thought I would try to do something soft, petal pinkish. Just trying to grab that piece. Okay, so let me grab my Petal Pink ink one more time. And we're just going to create some soft edges here. I'm just going to kind of bring it in from around the side. You could go, you know, as light or as intense as you want. And just be careful that you're not pulling up other colors, you know, if they're freshly stamped on your scrap paper. That has happened to me before. Okay. Okay, so on the original card, it's a little bit darker, but I'm going to leave it just a little bit lighter on this one, just enough that we can see that petal pink. All right, and then we are going to put this on, and let me get that piece, that cherry blossom piece here, and let me get this piece while I'm holding it. So we need this. We also need that rounded edge rectangle die cut. So we're going to grab that one too. That should be on this piece here. Okay. So here's this one. And here it is. Okay. All right. So this stitched rectangle piece right here from the kit. And I think that's all we need. So we're going to stamp thank you on this piece. Let me just grab my thank you stamp one more time. I am going to have to clean that so that we can do our grand apple. Uh-oh. Poppy Parade has gotten loose. Hold on. Okay. Oh, you guys. Always with the dropsies. Okay. All right, so I'm actually going to stamp thank you over on the side here because I'm going to tuck half of this rectangle behind this circle. All right, so we're going to glue these two pieces together. You could use whatever glue you're most comfortable with, just to kind of get that nice little edge here. And if you are going to use this, it's just going to take a second to bond. If you're using the adhesive from the kit, you'll use your dots, your adhesive dots. A lot of people have extra adhesive on hand, I realize. You could use your tear and tape, you could use your seal, whatever your preferred glue is. All right, so we're just going to give that a second, and then let's pop this one up on dimensionals. And again, we're going to pop both on dimensionals, the circle and the flowers. So a lot of dimension on these little cards. Lots of pretty. Okay, so we'll put this one on first. And what I want to be mindful of is that I can still fit this behind it. So when I was using my regular dimensionals, they of course are much smaller. So I just want to be sure that we can do that. And that should be okay. Might be a little bit of an overlap there. Let's see. Let's get this one on dimensionals too. And there goes that sheet. Go through them so quickly. All right, so I'm going to line this up first. And then let's pop our circle down. And then we're going to pop this one up on dimensionals too. I'll get a new sheet. I did use a lot for these cards, I will say. All right, and then we'll finish with our brushed brass butterflies. Okay, so there we go. I love this card. I really love this card. I know it has the most pieces on it. I know it has the most stamping, but I just think it's so pretty. Oh, here they are, right in front of me. Okay. So I'm going to just pop these around and about. I like having I'm going to put a little one here. So how about all the corners? And then we'll do one right there, little baby. Okay, so here is card number 4. And if anybody wants to stay and hang out with me, I'm just going to do a very quick card number 5. So what I had in mind for card number 5, and let's see if I still have the card base sitting here. There were a few pieces that I didn't use from the kit that I wanted to hold back on. So the first one is there were these balmy blue layering pieces. So if you have those on hand, you could use those in place of the envelopes if you don't want to cut up your envelopes. I used a soft sea foam card base, same note card size, with the shaded spruce pattern on the card. This is very similar to the original Paper Pumpkin card, just more stamping, right? And then I wanted to use this really big piece again. So I had one of these left and I was like, can I hold it back? Now, this is the gorgeous, this is like my favorite. This is a gorgeous card base that they did here that comes in the kit. And I wanted to keep one that I could possibly cut up for the alternate. But honestly, I think I'm just going to use this as it is because this is going to cover up pretty much the whole card anyway. And the one thing I was curious about was if it was going to go over the edges of the card. And you can see perfect note card size, like just enough. Now, if I were getting really ambitious and die cutting and things like that, I would actually put like some vellum back here. I think I would do like vellum die cut branches or sprigs, but I'm going to keep this super simple. So with this one, we're just going to do this as our focal point. And then let's do a sentiment. I don't know if I have any pieces left that are from the kit, like small pieces. Oh, here's that other one. So this was a design that I was trying. This is the top of the envelope. I ended up not using either of these circles. I'll use this for something later, but I was thinking about putting a single flower behind this one, kind of like off to the side. But let's just do a really quick, easy sentiment. So I have this piece cut. These are from the Something Fancy dies. I wonder if I could make this happen and just kind of cover it a little bit here. And we could put some embellishments on the side. I think that would be pretty, or even a smaller one, or we could even do like just a little piece right here from the edge. So let's see if I have any stamps that will fit that. I don't know if I have any pieces out. Let's stick with this piece. I feel like I would use something less bulky, but let's do just a little bit right here. So we could do with sympathy. I wonder if this big one will fit. Let's take a look here. Oh, yes, it will. Let's do this one. Okay, so I'm going to use the original color from the kit, the shaded spruce. We kind of got a theme going with that on this card. Perfect fit. So for anybody who's looking for a larger piece, there you go. All right. And then part of me wants to cut into this and tuck it in, but then I'll cover some of the sentiment. So there are different ways that you can do this, but I'm going to pop this whole thing up on dimensionals. Here they are, covered them. Okay. Just for the sake of time, I will try not to put 100 on here because I know we are running long. Okay. So beautiful. Oh my gosh. If I kind of put it at an angle, I could kind of put this thing down in the corner so that I'm not totally covering up my flowers, which has like been my concern since day one. Okay. I love the foil on here, like the foiling, and I do not want to cover it. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue up at the top just to kind of hold on this. I totally could have like cut into that leaf into just a tiny bit of overlap if I wanted to, but we're going to leave it. And then let's do, what if I just did 3 little butterflies like straight across the top? So cute. Okay, so that is our 5th card. That one is not on the project sheet only because we just made it live now. But I was limited in the pieces that I had to use. So let me bring in all of the cards and then we'll have a little sum up summary chat here. And then we'll be done. Okay. Trying to get this stuff out of the way so I can put these cards back on the table. All right. So we have, I have a little stink bug over here. Do you guys have those? Are they like the most annoying things? I'm not going to kill it though. It's got the best defense mechanism ever. It smells really bad. Okay. So here is this one. And then we have 2 of these. 2 of these. 2 of these. I know it's really hard to kind of lay these out. I'm missing cards, right? Oh, here they are. I'm like, what am I doing? Here we have 2 of these. Okay. So these are our alternates. And those were our originals. I'll just set those off to the side. I'm so sorry. I get so messy when I craft. Kathy, your table, I don't know if you're a neat crafter or a messy crafter, but if it was my dining room table, this would be everywhere, all over the place. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. I was like totally off there. All right. So Kathy says, I really love this card. This one, that one, Kathy, is that a cherry blossom? I know I asked this question before. I literally called it a cherry blossom in my PDF, the project sheet, and I have no idea if it actually is a cherry blossom or not. I think it is. My tree is in full bloom right now, my dogwood tree. And I love it so much. It is so beautiful. The weather has been so nice. Everybody's in a better mood when you can go outside and do things. So it's like 200 degrees in my office and it makes my nose run. Let's see if I can switch back. Look at my hair. Look, you can tell I'm like hot and crazy. So anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. She says, yes, next car. Oh, Kathy is a very messy crafter. Well, we could be in the same club then because I watch some crafters on YouTube and they are so neat and organized and they have a system and you guys can see when I'm looking, I'm constantly putting stuff on top of other things. I definitely need a better system, but I have not figured it out yet. That said, I have like 40 or 50, I don't even know how many, I'll have to count the boxes, maybe 40 paper pumpkin boxes sitting right off to the side here that I need to go through. I think I'm going to break them all up and sort them and all of that stuff and get like a much better system going. And I'll record it so that we can kind of all do that together. Jackie says, thank you. Roxanne says, I'm waiting for some sunshine. Oh, I wish I could send you some. Tracy says she's so messy. I always lose things in my desk. Me too. Well, you guys know it. I drop things constantly. I lose things, and I'm constantly sticking my fingers in the ink. And Roberta is always telling me, like, get baby wipes and keep them on your table. And I'm like, I'm gonna do that, and then I never do it. So I have to make sure I do that. Oh, you guys are so welcome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I know you've been on here with me for a long time, so we can sum this up, but I just wanted to remind you guys one more time, if you're interested, you can get the free project sheet. I have it in the link. The link is in the comments here on Facebook. It's going to be in the description box on YouTube. And you can go ahead and grab that. That will have all of the correct measurements, photos, all of that you need to make these cards if you're interested in making these little note-sized cards. And then the other thing is, if you are joining me late, I would really love it if you would subscribe or follow, just depending on where you're watching me from. It really, really helps get the video out there, and it gets more attention. So that's the goal here, so that more people can make these cards with their kits. All right. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys again next week. Okay. Bye-bye.